Comic Books and Books is a beefy section this week. I'm pretty impressed with myself right now, not gonna lie. Welcome, nerds, to the comic books and book news for the week. This is where we talk about all things comic books and literature related. So if there's a new book coming out, we're not going to get into individual arcs necessarily, unless there's some sort of like major publisher-wide effects that are going to be related to said arc. We don't really get into individual arcs or individual issues. We just talk about the broader news at large. So without any further ado, let's talk about some comic books and possibly some books as well. We have no confirmation, or we have no follow-ups or corrections. Sorry, getting ahead of myself. No follow-ups or corrections, but we do have some a trailer to talk about. We have another Batman Gargoyle of Gotham trailer. The series has begun. This is a trailer for episode number 3, or issue number 3 rather. So just this, I'm intrigued. It's a Black Label book, so of course it's going to be better than most. So yeah, go check it out. And if you're not already reading it, maybe pick it up because it's a pretty good book. That's what we got for trailers. Let's talk now about some regular ass news because, like I said, New York Comic Con happened last weekend, so there's a lot going on. First up, we have Ghost Machine, a new a new imprint for Image Comics. Image is going to be the publisher. This is just the developer, the middleman, I guess you could say. It is being started by Geoff Johns himself. He has left DC in order to do this. So the bigger piece here is Geoff Johns is no longer at DC. He is starting a new comic book imprint. And he is not alone. There is some big talent associated here. So the company is also going to be owned by Jason Fabok, Gary Frank, Brian Hitch, Lamont McGee, Francis Manapul, Brad Meltzer, Peter J. Tomasi, Maytel Jute, I think maybe is how you say that last name, and I apologize, but yeah, it is going to be an imprint under Image. Image is going to be the ones that publish the actual physical books. And this is just kind of huge. It is creator-owned, just like Image is creator-owned. So any creator who is writing on this imprint, whatever they create is property of themselves. That's a big reason why comic book authors do this, is because when you're writing for Marvel or DC, anything you create belongs to Marvel or DC. When you're at somewhere like Image or now Ghost Machine, that's not the case. So it's very enticing for business-minded folk. That's what we got on that one. So let's move over to Batman Death in the Family? Not Death of the Family, which is the more recent kind of play on those words, but this is legitimately Death in the Family. The book, number 4, what was it? Number 4, where did my notes go? I just lost it. 428, there we go. The infamous book, issue number 428 in Detective Comics, where Jason Todd was voted, in the issue previous, was voted to die. This is the issue where he dies. Why are we talking about this book that came out in the 80s? Well, because the alternate version was written and made, just never went to press because they had to have both books ready based on how the audience was going to vote so that they could just press it and ship it. So this has existed for some time. It just never got officially published. Well, that is about to change. It is going to be set to be published this year, so sometime 2023. No specific date was announced just yet. It seems, I don't know what exactly the hang-up is, but there's some sort of hang-up. So yeah, sometime later this year is when we're going to see the alternate, what could have been, with Death in the Family. And that's pretty freaking cool. From there, let's talk about Superman Superstars. This is going to be a year-long arc that starts in January with I, Bizarro. I, Bizarro is going to be a 3-issue mini arc. The overall arc for the Superman Superstars is going to be, like I said, take over the course of 2024. So January is I, Bizarro. It's going to start with number 1061, be written by Jason Aaron with art by John Timms, and then from there it's going to be moving into the name of the next mini arc is House of Brainiac. and that is going to start. I totally just lost my spot. There we go. That is going to start in April with issue number 1064, and that mini arc is going to be Joshua Williamson with art from Rafael Sandoval. So they have not yet announced anything beyond this, though obviously if it's going to last the entire year, there's going to be something beyond it. When that gets announced, we'll probably talk about it. Until then, though, let's continue on. Next up, we have Elseworlds is making a comeback in the DC comic books world. Elseworlds, for those that don't know exactly, maybe you don't remember, maybe you're too young to remember, but Elseworlds is an opportunity for artists or for writers to write a story that is outside of the mainline continuity. So they're effectively creating the multiverse through the Elseworlds books. Previously, when Elseworlds was a thing, it was kind of one-off books. Maybe you do a micro mini, 3 issues, 5 issues, somewhere around there, but nothing really beyond that. Until now, because now that they're bringing back the Elseworlds, some of the more popular Elseworlds from before are legitimately getting sequels, namely Gotham by Gaslight. There was another one that I added specifically to the notes. DC versus Vampires is also getting a continuation. So this is the first time they've done such a thing with the Elseworlds properties, and I'm definitely here for it because I really dig the Elseworlds concept. So yeah, big supporter, big fan. From there, we have one other piece of regular ass news, and that is James Bond comic book that is coming to Dynamite Entertainment is set to be written by none other than Garth Ennis. That's right, the guy who co-created The Boys is going to be the author of this new James Bond book. It is going to be titled Your Cold, Cold Heart. It has been made known that, I don't know if it was Ennis himself, very likely, but I don't know specifically if it was Ennis himself or if it was Dynamite that made the announcement that they're going to be drawing in some of the more fantastical elements from the movies and not really leaning into that stuff so much, but really leaning into the gritty realism that is in the books by Sir Ian Fleming. So very interested to see what Ennis can bring to a family-friendly, maybe not family-oriented, but family-friendly franchise like that. That's intriguing to say the least. So yeah, that's what we got for comic books and books news. Let's move into suggestions for comics this week. My suggestion is Batman Gotham by Gaslight. There is an animated movie as well. Definitely suggest you read the book, though the movie's not terrible and it's actually close to what happens in the book. The book is really damn good. It is an Elseworlds. It's from the late 90s, if I remember correctly, though I'm sure somebody will correct me in the comment section. But it's, so the writer is Mike Mignola and Brian Augustin. Mike Mignola is fantastic. So that is big enough reason to read it in and of itself. There's a number of other things in this list, but that's all you really need. Go check out Gotham by Gaslight. That is your suggestion this week for comics. Once again, nerds, this is just the comic books and books section from the Week in Nerddom, which is the much longer video that gets posted over on the main channel, youtube.com/generallynerdy or @generallynerdy, however you gotta find it. That's the main channel. You get the entire, usually around about an hour-long video there that goes into other topics as well, TV, movies, rumors, etc., etc. Go check that out. Before we leave you, though, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.